So yeah, basically this is now they've gotten funding or they're applying for funding and they're about to get access to, 50, 20, 150, whatever grand. Now what do they do with it? Because it really doesn't do them any good other than more debt if they just like buy food or go to the club or buy, crap that they don't need. So what are your recommendations? Like what are some smart tips to start using that money to create assets or to be responsible? Yeah, but
Yeah,
what do you
so at the
think?
end, yeah, like me, like there's strategies that I've put in place that actually like even though if I lose money, at least I can write off the money, right?
Yeah.
So as long as if you understand those strategies, and we can teach those strategies in our course more and get more in detail as people will start to learn. But main thing is once you have money, you really want something that you can like monetize on, right? That
Right.
asset, that whatever it is, you want to be able to make money off that asset. So whether you're thinking about like something long term, you want a business, you have to like build the business up, get spend money on marketing, things like that. Are probably value added, but those are like again higher risk. So things that are low risk are like renting something. If you want to rent something, like if you want to go buy, you can buy a bunch of bicycles, and rent them out at here in Venice Beach. I'm sure people will pay you. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of different. Start thinking about how I can make money off something else, right? So whatever it is, and I recommend having something that's physical that you can touch, you can feel. Whether you're opening up like a place where people come in and just play games all day. Like back in the day, they used to have places where all they do is they use your laptop or your computer and they're online and they're using your internet. I used to do that, back in the day with people I knew, and they would just come around and basically, pay into something like that. But other things you can do, I recommend right off the bat is looking at what your goals are. Like if your goals are to have long-term wealth and long-term like kind of like retirement, I would go into quick money type stuff, which is basically either doing some wholesale deals, right?
Yeah.
Property deals, if you can get into property and be able to have the earnest money you need to flip a property like that in a contract. Learn about wholesaling, learn about real estate, learn about how real estate works. Those are long-term plays. Short-term plays for me, like are, cars. Cars are really good assets, really good profitability. You can use Turo, you can use carrentals.com. There's a lot of opportunities there where you can invest your money and just, kind of like cash flow on rentals. Obviously, you have to have enough money to make sure you cover the assets, prop costs. But it depends on. There's ways where you don't have to buy the car. Most of my cars that I rent are leased. I don't buy my cars that I rent. Most of my
Oh,
cars
really?
are
I didn't know that. That's kind of cool.
most of my cars are especially the ones that I like, the ones that I rent and I don't give a crap about, essentially. Those cars are like, they're gonna go to crap anyways because they're rented, right? So it's like, why buy them? But some people have a different perspective. Buying property or cars is always, same thing with rentals. You can buy a property and rent it out, right? Now
Yeah.
there's a whole Airbnb arbitrage, going around. People are just basically, using other people's money to make money. You can get
Right.
into that. That's another way. You need a down payment for that, for property you want to rent, for example. Things like that. Me personally, the best options are still to this day is using your money to invest in, for like cash flowing assets that are actually, you can physically touch and feel. And I used to do, like furniture. We used to like buy furniture and basically flip a furniture, flip something that's nice, obviously, and you can do some renovation to it, for example, repainting something simple. I used to do tires, like rims. People will come bring their rims, and then I'll just buy a bunch of material to paint those rims. It's very cheap, and I have guys that would work, and they'll just take care of things like touch up rims, for example. I
Yeah.
mean, just like concepts that if you're a side hustler and you want to do certain things, you can do a lot of things, different things with your money. But fastest return is like real estate, cars. The quickest way to get a return on your money would be those. If you're trying to do like wholesaling or car rentals, I would say the fastest for me personally. But stocks are long term, real estate rentals are long term. And I'm sure you know about e-commerce. E-commerce is now the hottest thing. I've invested in multiple e-commerce stores. You can get a pretty good return on those, especially if
Yeah.
you're working with the right team. You can sell a product, brand. You can create a brand, market that. Again, those are more high risk. So
I mean, for my thinking, it's like, first thing you can do is flip stuff, right? Buy low, sell high. You've got your Rolex kind of hustle. Do you buy your cars? Like, do you try and like get the best price and sell them, or do you
um,
lease those and rent them? That's different, right?
I was reluctant. I was thinking about getting into car flipping, like buying cars low and flipping them high. It
Yeah.
didn't, anything that's an asset that's depreciating, right? And, for any asset that's depreciating, I don't want to mess with it because at the
Yeah.
moment I buy with it, I don't know if the property's price or property, for example, real estate or car will be what it is later on, right? So if I buy it now, I have to flip it fast enough to make some money. And there's always problems, really contracting,
Yeah.
cars. I mean, cars, you buy a car, you might buy it and you don't know what, there might be some issue that's not there. You don't know about it. So you have to be kind of like hesitant, right? So those are like, I would think flipping a bag is cool, but you really want something that you can monetize. And my thing has been rentals. So
Yeah.
I'm all about rentals. Like I like to
So
rent shit.
let's break that down. So it's like you get a fat loan and then you either liquidate it and you use that as your down payment,
Right.
and then you let the monthly recurring rent pay back the credit card and pay for the mortgage or
Right.
whatever. That's
So I
crazy.
so if we talk about, let's talk about real estate. So if I buy a property that, let's say I got a bag of about 100 grand from funding, right? I have $100,000 funding. I can liquidate that money through the different strategies that we teach in our master class. Those strategies you use to basically take the money out at a 3% rate, for example, or it depends, 3 to 5% depending on how you do it. You'll basically take the money out, you get it in cash form in a business, and then once you have it in the business, you're able to invest that money, right? So you
Oh,
can
cool.
invest that money into a property that you're going to buy. So, for example, if you buy a real estate property that's half a million, a quarter of a million, $500,000. I talk about 500,000 because I'm in California. So,
Yeah.
in any other state, quarter million, you can buy a property, right? So you would invest the money. You would initially essentially would monetize the property. Look at the property, how many units, how many bedrooms. You try to like maximize the profits. Like I've done house hacking where you would just buy the
Yeah.
house and you either live in it, or you rent out the rooms, for example.
Right.
That's another way. I mean, it's not the best way. I don't recommend it unless you have no choice. I've done it where I had no choice and I just lived in it, and I even lived in the garage. So at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you can live how you need to live for a certain period of time, but you can flip that bag by getting people to pay rent for your asset or pay you for that property or that asset, and then from the cash flow, you're paying back those low zero interest or low interest credit cards. Now, as long as your return is more than 10%, you're solid, right? Because
Yeah.
even if you get a credit card or a line of credit, they're usually within 8 to 12%, right? Interest rate wise. If you don't want to use like 23% credit cards to invest in a real estate property, because then you're gonna have a lot of credit interest being paid. But even then, like when people talk about, oh, I'm paying 20% on credit cards, I'm like, well, who cares? Are you going to
Yeah.
buy the property? Yeah. Is the property going to be yours? Yeah. Are you going to be able to keep it afterwards? Yeah. So what's the problem?
Right.
Right. So buy the property, even if you have high interest credit cards or whatever the hell, just get the money out, right? Get
Right.
the
Because then
money
you
out,
own the
and
house so that
then you
you can
own the
figure out how to
property.
pay
And
the
then
credit
you,
cards.
you just have to, you just take longer to pay off that credit card, or take longer to pay off that loan. Like you just take longer. But the thing is, at the end of the day, at the end of the tunnel, you own that asset. So, at the end of the day, uh, get access to money, number one, invest your money and use that money to internet, a cash flowing asset, whether cars, real estate, or anything that's rentable. I recommend.
Yeah.
Then you're able to take that asset after you and monetize it, take the money and pay off your loan, right? Whatever loan, wherever you borrow the money from the banks, do not default on your banks. Do not default on your banks. Pay them all back, because
Yeah.
whatever they charge, that's cheap money. Whatever
Yeah.
they charge, that's cheap money. That's money, and you invest it into a cash flowing asset that's going to be yours at the end of the day. you're building that empire. And that's how I was able to acquire, 12 to 15 units, and just by doing that. So you just have to keep doing that. Essentially, you have to keep being able to use your own money if you have money, or with us, we go ahead and use other people's money, in this case, banks' money, and invest into the assets like that.
I guess I see three things. It's like you should take this credit and this funding to own things, right? Either you're going to own real estate, either you're going to own a business, or you're going to own, goods and products and things like that. You know what I mean? And then you're going to so you take
Yeah.
credit to own things, right? And then now you have assets. And then you're going to figure out how to turn those assets into more money so that you can start buying dumb shit or at least start like building your empire like we've been talking about and scaling your business and getting to that next level. So I think that's like, I mean, even investing, like if you did take credit to buy stocks, now you own an asset of a stock that's supposedly going to go up or whatever it is. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that's the whole equation. It's like take the funding to own something that's going to make you more money than you invested into it. Like, I think it's cool that you buy Rolexes. I think it's cool. Like you can buy
Oh, yeah.
whatever, man. There's lots of
And
stuff that has a lot of value, or you can buy stuff cheap and sell stuff. I used to work with this guy he would literally go on like, I think it was Alibaba, but he would buy these little like kid toys, right? That had like lights that would spin, and then he would just go to these carnivals and he would sell them for 100 times like more than
right.
what he paid for it. He
So
made all his
I
money,
call
you
it,
know?
so there's real quick, and then I think this would be the main thing. Is the main thing, like you said, buy assets that are going to be, you can hold on to, you own. And the final thing is, basically you want to buy assets that don't depreciate,
Yeah.
unless you have no choice, like a car. And that's fine, but you have to make sure, try to buy assets that do not depreciate. Anything else, usually everything depreciates, right?
Yeah.
The only thing that doesn't depreciate, even real estate depreciates, So at
Especially
the
right now. It's like we're
no,
maybe, man, I
exactly.
don't know.
So it just, watches are a great option. I love watches.
Luxury goods kind of is what I'm thinking.
Luxury, anything. Basically, if it's expensive and it's
Yeah.
name brand and it's high quality, you're not gonna lose. Okay, you're
Yeah.
almost not gonna lose, because at the end of the day, somebody is gonna want it, somebody is gonna want to pay for it, and somebody's gonna want to pay high top dollar for it.
Sell to the affluent,
So
right?
get access to money, acquire luxury high-end products, high-end things like cars,
Yeah.
high-end things like houses, and use that to rent and make money and pay off your loans, and do it, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah,
Rinse
and
and
raise your status. I mean, the main
exactly,
thing
that's
we
what
don't
it
want
is.
people to do is to like take this money and then just buy stuff for
No,
themselves and then get stuck in the rat race again. You have to have that extra gear turning where it's like this money is going to be
exactly.
used to make me more money down the road. It may
And
like
we're
that
gonna
instant gratification needs to kind of go away. You need to have that long term
exactly
vision.
we're gonna make them. We're gonna force them. We're gonna force them to do this every single day, day in and out, to use their money first.
Yeah.
Pay the business first. Don't pay you. They say pay yourself, like, pay yourself, but not yourself. Pay your
Yeah,
entity.
you get like 5%.
Right. You get like 5%. You pay your entity. You pay
Right.
95% goes to the entity. That 95%, I say, 40 40, 40 40 20 rule, 40% of that assets gets invested, right?
Yeah.
I was pushing 50, 60, 70, 80% of my earnings, and I would invest all my money. I would be like living off 10, 15%. And
Yeah.
you know what? I'm not regretting it one bit. I had to, I'm at where I'm at right now. I'm like, well, you know what? It really does pay to feel the pain
Yeah.
early. And I felt it when I was in my 20s, when I first bought my house, when I was 21. I did it then, and I'm no different now. So I'm still living like I'm broke,
Yeah.
but now I just have nice things.
Do
So
you still own that? Do you still own that house too?
oh yeah.
Yeah, see, that's the coolest shit ever.
I still own the house. Sun Valley is the headquarters, bro.
Yeah.
So that's the long term play, and no and have and it's I bought it so cheap that it's not worth even selling. So
Yeah.
at this point, but yeah, I think that's pretty much what I got for that, and I think we can go further into it.
We can go wait for that. This is just kind of the intro to get us both talking
Yeah,
about it and like go down because I think me and you can collaborate on the real estate stuff, and then I'm going to teach people how to build cash flowing businesses, like ones that are online, that are trending, or that are just super simple to like leverage. So you can have something set up making you money printing while you sleep and stuff like that. So
yeah,
powerful
exactly,
stuff.
brother.
Yeah.
I'm excited for this program, for everybody that's on it. Hit us up on the Mighty Network, and let us know if you have any questions. We're here to help you, and this is just the beginning. So let's get you that money. Let's get your credit fixed. Let's get you that money, and we can help you out.